Hey, what's going on there, fellow health entrepreneurs? Welcome to this video, and if you have ever wanted to learn how to use online marketing to get new patients, well, this is your lucky day because we're going to go through a macro scale view of online marketing. We're taking you back to school. We're taking you back to online marketing 101. Now, before we get going on this, my goal with this is that if you've ever wanted to use online marketing, but you haven't been sure where to get started, online marketing makes you feel overwhelmed or stressed or totally confused, my goal is to clear up a lot of that confusion. The other thing that gets really confusing with online marketing is that there's so many different types and variations and sections of online marketing. You have web design, you have SEO, you have social media marketing, you have email marketing, video marketing, Facebook advertising, Google advertising. There's so many different facets of that. And really what I want to go into is more the pay-per-click advertising because that's what most health businesses are going to be using, primarily the Facebook ads, Google ads, things like that. So before we get started with this online marketing 101 training here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of assumptions. One, I'm going to assume that you have very little experience with online marketing, if that's a good way to put it. And the other is I'm going to assume that you are a service-based business. So if you're selling programs or you're selling supplements, things like that, then this might not be as good of a fit for you. It'll still be applicable, but this is much more for the service-based entrepreneur, more the doctor, the chiropractor, the physical therapist, acupuncturist, functional medicine doctor, whatever that may be for you. But you are providing a servant to a patient or a client. And that's essentially what this is going to be for. So let's get rocking and rolling on the training here. So the first thing we need to get around here is what essentially are we doing with online marketing, especially pay-per-click advertising. And essentially the first thing we need to understand is what are you buying? And what you are buying and what you are spending money on in terms of advertising is you are strictly buying attention. And depending on what platform you use and depending on what your goal is with the ad, depending on whether you are actually testing ads, you're trying to get leads such as emails, you're trying to give a free offer, you're running a promotion, you're actually trying to get new patients in the door to your office, is going to determine what type of structure do you want in terms of how you pay for your ads. So for instance, you can pay based on impressions, how many people see your ads, and you can pay for that. You can also pay for the amount of clicks your ad gets, so you're paying only when people click your ad. You can also pay for conversion, which is actually when people actually take the action that you want them to take on your website, which is essentially either they are giving you their contact info for a lead, or they're actually giving their contact info because they want to use your services. Those are the two types of conversions that we'll mostly be working with here. So essentially, you are paying for that attention, and if you create a really strong, high-performing ad, that attention will then turn into traffic for the most part. Now, most of the time, the problem with many ads is that people are taking their ads, and they're not creating great ads. They're just creating standard billboard ads that are going to their website, and it's not very structured. And the communication's off, and there's a lot of missing pieces. But if you can learn how to create a really strong ad and turn those eyeballs into actual clicks, into traffic to your website, then that's where we're going to start hitting the next piece of the puzzle here. But however good your ad is going to determine how well does that ad perform and also how much money are you going to spend for that ad. So for instance, you can put an ad out on to Facebook right now, but if it's a bad ad, you're probably going to spend 2 to 3 times, if not more, per click or per customer than you would for somebody who has a really great high-performing ad. And there's a lot of different reasons that one ad would perform better than another ad. Some of that comes down to the images you use, the headlines, the text, the words that you use even, but also it comes down to your website too, or the landing pages that you're using, and I'll touch on that in just a little bit. But that's the big key to understand here is great ads, you're going to pay less. Poor performing ads, you're going to pay a lot more, which is where people get stuck and where people have a lot of issues with online marketing is they just don't know how to create great ads, which is really, really important, especially in online marketing. The other thing we need to understand is what you're buying in terms of traffic. What you're paying for is to get that traffic, and you can go anywhere online to get traffic essentially. But some locations are more valuable than others, and a lot of it comes down to buyer's intent. And especially for health service businesses, there's really 3 main places that you're going to choose to advertise. And really 2 are going to be the primary ones. And this is disregarding things like Yelp and local service areas like this. But what I'm really focusing on is Facebook, Google, and for some of you that might even be YouTube as well. Now, the main ones that most health businesses are going to start off with is Facebook and Google. These are like the dynamic duo of online marketing. Now, the difference is Google has much more buyer's intent, which means people are going on to Google to buy something, or they're looking specifically for a service because they want to use that service. For instance, if you're looking for an acupuncturist in your area, you are likely not going to go onto Facebook to find an acupuncturist. You are going to search on Google. And therefore, when you are paying to advertise on Google, likely it is going to be more expensive than advertising on Facebook because people are going on Google specifically to buy. And if you can get their eyeballs on you while they're buying, of course, that's a much more valuable lead and click than a click from Facebook. I hope that makes sense. And so that's the main reason why people will say, oh, Google ads are so much more expensive. Well, there's a reason. That's because Google has very targeted and specific people and traffic that are coming from there. So you know when you market on Google, you're going to get much more targeted leads and much more targeted traffic of people who are already ready to buy, which is why Google ads work so well for so many different businesses. The other thing is on Facebook, most people are browsing. Most people are just kind of scrolling through Facebook, which is why Facebook is cheaper. But also there's a lot more people on Facebook on any given day. So on Facebook, if you can learn to use ads effectively and learn how to gather attention on Facebook and turn that attention into traffic somewhere else, aka your website or a landing page, you're going to find your Facebook ads can become tremendously effective and can start slowly building up a lot more business and income for your health business if you learn how to use them correctly. But they are going to be cheaper, but there are more pieces of the puzzle that need to be filled in because obviously somebody's browsing. And that's a big difference with somebody who's going into a retail shop and they know exactly what they want to buy versus somebody who's just going around browsing. It takes a lot more work to get that person who's browsing to make a purchase. And so that's the big difference between Facebook and Google. And then YouTube, on the other hand, as well, much more effective. But again, people are mostly going on YouTube for either browsing, they're watching funny cat videos, or they're watching things like that. But people are also going on YouTube specifically to look for content. So YouTube is a great way to put organic content that people would most likely be searching for. And what you can do is you can put in links into your description to get people from that YouTube video and even calls to action on your video to another site. And that's for a whole different topic for a different time. But hopefully you understand now the whole purpose of what you're spending money on is attention that turns into traffic. And our ultimate goal is to get that traffic somewhere else. So the goal of creating that traffic, get them somewhere else. Where is that somewhere else? That somewhere else, most of the time for most health businesses, is going to be some sort of website, whether that is your website or a landing page. And you can create landing pages on your website, but there's also lots of great landing page software that's out there that helps you create really great landing pages. And if landing pages is a new concept for you, it is essentially a sales page. So for instance, instead of taking that traffic and taking them to a blog post, what you do is you then create a very specific page that's targeted to your ideal customer, and you're basically putting different psychological influence factors on this page. So you'll maybe have a video that gives them essentially what they're looking for. So if you're an acupuncturist that works with people with shoulder pain or fertility, that landing page is going to have a video about fertility. And then it's also going to show your reviews. It's also going to have pictures of your office, of you, your story, your approach. And there's ways that you set up this landing page that make it so much more effective and compelling to get people to take action versus just your blog post, which is where many people mess up. Because you can go out right now and spend thousands of dollars to get traffic, but if you don't send them to a page that actually converts that traffic well, it's going to be a waste of money. So that's very, very important that we focus not only where we get in the traffic, our ads, but also how are we converting on that traffic? Do we have a page on our website or a landing page that's specifically catered to what they're looking for? Does it give them a call to action? Does it give them an opportunity to want to use our services? Whether that's if you're an online business owner, whether that's scheduling a consult so they can get on the phone with you, or whether you're a local brick and mortar service-based business that's giving them or having them give you your email or a phone number, actually calling and scheduling with you. Maybe you're giving them a discount or a new patient special, whatever that may be. But that's very important, is that you send them to a very specific website. Don't just send them to a blog post. Don't just send them to your contact page, or even worse, don't send them to your home page. You want to create a very targeted page that gives them all the information they're looking for on a typical sales page that would give them every answer to their question, tackles all the objectives, and also gives them the information that they're looking for. And this all comes down much more into strategy, but again, we're looking big macro picture at online marketing here. And then the other thing we want to note here is the difference between a lead versus a new patient or somebody who's taking action to become a customer. So as soon as they hit that landing page, we have two main objectives. We need to either get contact information from them so we can follow up with emails, and the other one is we want to get that person to become a customer, right? The whole reason is, if you think in order of priority, obviously when they get to that landing page, I want them to become a customer immediately, as soon as possible, and become a paying customer like that. So I want them scheduled in the office as soon as possible. But let's say they are not ready yet. Or maybe they're just kind of browsing around just to be a little bit interested, but they're not quite sure if this is the right place yet. And if they're in that category where they're not in that top 3% of people who are ready to buy now, we want to make sure we have the opportunity to follow up with them later, which is essentially what a lead would be. A lead is someone who gives you contact information in return for something else. So let's say you're a chiropractor and you specialize in low back pain. Let's say they come to your landing page, your website, and there's an offer there for them to become a new patient, to get a new patient special, whatever it may be. And let's just say that it's just not the right time for them right now. Instead of just having them leave and forgetting about you, what you can do is you can create a special offer on that page. So that way, if they're not ready now, but maybe you have a PDF document that they can enter in their email and get this free PDF download that gives them 5 of the best exercises for low back pain. Now what you can do is you can create an automated, so this isn't something you're doing, you create an automated email sequence that then follows up with them on email. So now you are now in their email inbox. You can follow up and turn that lead into a customer eventually when the time is right. And there's ways that you can set up your email sequences to really turn that customer and lead into a customer. Get it? You know what I'm talking about with this. And that's essentially the whole goal and strategy behind online marketing, is to get somebody from a person on the internet into a customer. And the way you do that is by starting with the attention, turning that attention into traffic, which then goes to a web page, whether that's your website or a landing page, and then creating an offer for them and a call to action that gets them to take action once they hit that site, and then turn them into a paying customer. That is the essential foundation of online marketing 101 for any health service business. So if this is helpful for you, make sure you like this video, make sure you share it. And if you have any questions on this, make sure that you comment down below with what were your thoughts on the video and what do you want to see more of? Because what we're going to do is the comments that reach towards the top, we're going to create more content specifically for you. We're going to create more free videos like this that are going to explain different types of online marketing, how to do it for your health business, and they'll be 100% free. So if there's anything that you're interested in learning more of, just put it in the comments down below. The top comments are the ones that we're going to turn into videos. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.